Okay. Here we
Today's
go.
the day.
Oh my god, it's been a day.
After years and years and years of guesses and suspicions,
The
today was the
Switch,
day. We learned it all. We figured it all out.
for context, the Switch turned 8 years old just the other day, towards the end of March. And we, after 8 long years, we finally got our announcement for its spiritual successor. That would be the Nintendo
Not
Switch.
just spiritual successor, quite literally a literal successor.
It is the successor. But here's
A physical successor, in fact.
we have a lot to cover because we actually are covering both directs. And I think we can. There are some pretty big announcements from last week. I don't think they affect us necessarily, but there are people who are very excited about certain things that came out last week too.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard to care about any of that when I now know what the Switch 2 holds.
Yeah, hold on. We have no Sony news. We have no Xbox news. They don't exist.
Who even are they?
I don't think.
What is a Sony?
What is a PlayStation?
What is an Xbox?
PC Master Race?
No. I don't know her.
That's not real. There's no Wind Waker on PC. With that
person. I actually only speak Nintendo now.
I give it about 2 months.
Yeah. I wouldn't even give it 2 months. I'd give it about 3 hours before I turn on Assassin's Creed Shadows. True. And we're back to PlayStation.
Emily and I both finished, speaking of AC Shadows, we both finished Act 1. And a quick spoiler, but not a spoiler. Jinjiro broke my heart. But
he did. We're progressing through Shadows. There will be another review coming when we beat Shadows. We're both around at the same place, both at the end of Act 1, starting Act 2. So stay tuned. A couple weeks from now, probably you'll see a podcast on that.
I don't expect this game to actually take us like the 100+ hours. I think it's going to take us like 80 something because the map is not as big as I thought it was. Like,
I'm 30-ish hours in. I'm assuming there's 3 acts. Assuming it takes me 30 hours per act plus act, I'm assuming it's probably going to be 100+ hours.
I mean, we'll see. It hasn't felt like I've played like about 25, and it hasn't felt like I played that many, so, which is a good thing.
I was going to say that's a good sign.
Who
cares Assassins or Creeds or Shadows or PlayStation?
That's not on the Switch 2.
I want to talk about everything near and dear to my heart today.
Okay, well, I'm sharing can you see my screen, Em?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. It's important that you see this. I just found out that Nintendo has an archive of their Switches, of their directs. We're not watching it, but they show the announcements so we can talk about them.
I have a list of the announcements up that we can just go through.
I also have that, but I also like showing things and displaying things because it makes me feel good.
Okay, that's fair. Sure, we'll go for that.
Let's talk about the ones from last week. The big highlights were the Dragon Quest.
Not the biggest highlight. Let's just get out of the way. Like the clear winner of the last Switch 1 Direct.
Was it Tamagotchi Life?
It was Tamagotchi Life. Those people have been forming cult circles.
I know.
For like 10 years. And not only have they been like begging on their knees for it, but it was the most out of left field game. Like there were no hints, there were no whispers. It wasn't a sure thing like Metroid or Silk Song or anything like that. And they still got it.
Which is so insane.
Like kudos to them, clear winners of this Direct. I think the biggest announcement of this Direct.
That and Rhythm Heaven fans ate this Direct. Because also Rhythm Heaven Groove looks sick as hell. So
fair enough.
Have you ever played a Rhythm Heaven game?
I have not.
They're not your normal rhythm. They're not your normal rhythm games. They're actually a ton of fun, and I adore them.
Are normal rhythm games not a ton of fun?
I mean, they can be. Guitar Hero is great. Rock Band's great, but like DJ Hero,
don't know her.
Yeah, doesn't exist. Never happened. But there was another big thing that came out of this, and Emily and I have conflicting opinions on it. Yeah, that is going to be the virtual game cards. So what these virtual game cards do, essentially, it's kind of like having.
Try to give this without any bias.
I know.
Description of what it is.
It is like having a physical cart, to where you can transfer a digital game you own from one console to another and like insert it like it's a cartridge. On top of that, there's the added benefit that you can, if someone on your family plan does not own this game, you can loan it out to them for 2 weeks. Now, you don't have access to it like a physical game, but they can play it for 2 weeks and then it goes back to you for them to try it out.
And you can also loan multiple games out. I mean, you can't loan multiple games to one person, but say you have 3 members of your family, you have 3 virtual games, you can loan them each a game.
Correct.
At the same time.
I have my reservations about it, but I'm also very anti-digital.
Well, let's call them reservations because to quote you, you called it digital propaganda.
It is all digital future propaganda, and I will not stand for it.
It's such a wild take to me.
Let me talk about what I think is positive first. Let me get the positives out of the way. Let's do okay. I think the game sharing thing is a good thing. I am actually on board with it. I don't like the limitation of it only being someone on your family plan. I don't think that's good. I think anyone on your friends list who you ask to share it with, that should be available to you. But I digress. Other than that benefit, if I already have if I have 2 Switch systems and I just download the game to both systems, what does the game cart do for me if I can already just download the game to both systems?
I don't know, man. But I don't see like a huge negative here either.
One, they're prepping us for that all digital. Like they're like, look, this is what you can do with digital games. It's like owning a physical game, but it's not. Look, there is inherent value.
Options for digital games. They're expanding options for what you can do with your physical or your digital games.
Yeah, the one thing that is the added benefit is being able to share. Everything else does not make any sense. There is no purpose.
Anything else. It comes with 2 things. You can loan out games now.
Yes.
And you can download game. You can move the cartridge from one of your consoles to the others. You're saying, that's clunky thing for the console to the other because I can already do that, sure. But there's a really, really big benefit here to being able to loan out digital games. No other company is doing that. And most companies are really cracking down on password sharing, account sharing, to the point that they're making people pay if you live in separate homes to have these. And I know you're not a huge fan of digital games, and that's totally fair. That's your personal choice. But there are a lot of people who like digital games, who buy digital games because maybe they're more accessible to them. And so the ability to have more freedom with something they've purchased and spent their money on, I think is a good thing.
My big thing, and the reason, I think the sharing is a good thing, but I think it is more so trying to put, this is how great I think it's more of a push to say how great digital games are versus physical, and, look what it can do now. But because they're trying to phase it out, and it will be phased out eventually. We will lose the physical games within the next 5-6 years.
I think we're going to lose physical games completely within the next 5-6 years. But I will say there are benefits to digital games. And of course, a game company that is making digital games is going to promote those games and is going to try to sell those games. It's a weird take to think they're going to be anti-digital games when they're making and selling digital games.
Well, they're never going to be anti. I don't expect them to be anti, but they are, whether you like it or not, they are trying to phase out.
I mean, it's not any different from PlayStation offering you free digital games every month if you join a subscription service.
True.
They're trying to get you to switch to digital games. I don't think Nintendo is doing anything here on the negative side that any other company is doing. And I think the positive here of being able to share games, and hopefully this is just a start. I hope down the road they expand this feature. I hope PlayStation expands this feature. I have several games in my digital inventory that I would love to loan to friends because they don't want to spend the $70 on the game. And I've already bought the game and I don't want to spend another $70 just to loan it to them. I would love to continue to see this expanded upon. And I think even if we get to a world where there are no physical games and it's all digital, having something like this already in place of you can loan out games is good.
I disagree, but that's sorry. I agree with the sharing thing is good. Let me rephrase. I think the sharing thing is good overall. However, this I don't have many conspiracy theories, but this is where I'm like, they're not doing this for the benefit of other people. They're doing this just to get you comfortable with not owning your games. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat for it, but I understand the value proposition here.
Moment though. I mean, we already know companies are trying to push toward digital, and this does not feel like a big conspiracy to me. This feels like, of course, a corporation that creates digital product is going to try to sell and push digital product.
This is not why we're here. We disagree on it. We move on to the important stuff. Let's talk about
don't like digital games. I don't think there's an inherent issue with what Nintendo's doing here.
We'll agree to disagree and move.
All right,
move
fine.
forward.
We're letting it go.
Okay. Other big announcements: Metroid Prime 4, huge. People have been waiting for this since his Switch 1 announcement back in 2016.
I'd be pissed if I was those people.
We got a new the Simonian. I don't know how to pronounce it. Files game. I've been wanting to play this series. I've heard they're very, very good. I'm not going to go through all these, just the things that I found interesting and stop me if I skip one.
Potentially for Story of Seasons.
Yeah, Story of Seasons.
Cozy farming games.
It's also just better Harvest Moon because it's the original Harvest Moon team.
Yes.
I will say I'm shocked and appalled Patapon is coming, because that was a PlayStation Portable exclusive. That was a PSP exclusive. Was Patapon. That is nuts. So
I don't know what Patapon is.
It's like a little rhythm game. It's a fun little rhythm game with fighting elements. Atlas is re-releasing a game, which is pretty cool. I might look into it.
I was kind of enchanted a little bit by Witchbrook, which was like an 8-bit Stardew Valley-esque game that takes place at a school for witches. The aesthetics look cool, and I liked the concept. I don't know if I'll actually play it, but it looked neat.
They didn't even put it on here. But no, here it is. Yeah, it's right here. Witchbrook did look good. Me and you talked to my friend Julie. We all agree Witchbrook looks actually a ton of fun. Tamagotchi Plaza, maybe it looks like a Animal Crossing clone, but if you like Tamagotchi, it's fine.
Oh,
you blanked that out, didn't you?
And Tomodachi were like intersecting in my brain.
Yeah,
for a moment there, I was not comprehending.
Right. So that's what my brain did at the end when they showed Tamagotchi. I'm like, didn't they just show this earlier? Oh, this is different.
It's different. This
my
is
bad.
different. There's a golf game.
Yeah, I think the last big announcement was we saw more about Pokemon Legends ZA, which Emily does not care about.
Don't.
I will say this. I love how in Legends Arceus, you go to the past and you're just trying to learn to survive. And in this one, it's like, hey, go and mug people at night and fight them at night with your Pokemon.
Sure.
So I'm all in.
I'll start a gang.
Honestly, this should be the one Emily cares about because it's based in France. That
means I have to that assumes I have to have some level of care for any Pokemon game.
That assumes that you have some kind of love for France.
I do.
I'm done screwing it there. Those were the big announcements for last week. We knew it wasn't going to be anything major. Other than
I'm still out here cheering on the Tamagotchi Life people.
Oh yeah, same.
I have seen pentagrams made of Tamagotchi Life for the last 10 years all over my feed, and now they finally achieved it. They finally done it, and it looks hysterical.
I'm probably gonna buy it and play it because it looks like a lot of fun, and I can't believe I never played it.
Depending on the price point. There's one scene where this woman's face is superimposed that was hysterical to me. This whole thing is just so funny.
It's very goofy. I'm curious how it's going to work out. So that's Tamagotchi Life. So now we're going to move over to the big boy, the big one, the Switch 2. Oh, did you not? Oh, you sons of bitches. Good thing I had this pulled up just in case you screwed me over. Nintendo Switch 2. We got a lot of hardware information and we got a lot of game announcements. So let's talk about hardware first.
I was just going to start with the big wood thing, which is it comes out June 5th of this year.
June 5th.
Not too long.
$450.
Yeah, $450. That's a big jump from the last one.
$300 to $450. And then there's the bundle with Mario Kart World, which we'll talk about momentarily, for 500.
Pre-orders start a week from today. And I said this to Blake earlier, but interestingly enough, it looks like you can order Switch 2s from Nintendo's Direct website, but you have to have over 50 hours of gameplay in the Switch 1, which I think is an interesting and good way to cut off scalpers who are just buying it to sell it. But at the same time, if you didn't own a Switch 1, or perhaps you shared a Switch 1 with someone, it adds a little complication to.
Yeah. I will say, I have that many hours in Mario Maker. I have quadruple that in Mario Maker alone. So I think I'm fine. I think I'm good.
I have over 1,000 hours in Animal Crossing, so bite me, Nintendo.
That being said, I don't know if I'm buying this day one, not because I don't want to, but because of the scalper. In the words of Jeff Goldblum, scalpers find a way, or something like that. Whatever it is, whatever the line is.
Something along those lines. I'm a question mark. Well, we'll get to it later. There are two big things in this Direct that made me eager to make this a day one purchase.
Yes. But
anyone who knows me and or watched the Direct should know already what one of those big things was.
If anyone who's watched this podcast knows what that big thing is, it has been the intro to most podcast episodes. But
he's coming home. We'll talk about it later. He's coming home.
We're going to talk about hardware. One, they revealed that magical C button, which, guess what? Nintendo finally figured out how to do voice chat. Congrats, you're 20 years too late, but I'm proud of you.
Figured it out is a bit of a stretch. To pivot off of what Blake said, essentially they showed a huge portion of the Direct today was focusing on the new online features of the Switch 2, which, as Blake mentioned, detailed that there's a voice chat feature that looks suspiciously like Discord, quite frankly.
Yes.
And so you can chat with your friends while you're playing the same game, while you're playing different games. There's also a video option, so you can buy a Nintendo branded camera to attach to your Switch to then superimpose your face on top of the game or inside of the game, like Mario Party. And you can also share your screen. All of which are very interesting things.
In Nintendo's defense, PlayStation started it with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation camera, which I only bought when I started streaming to stream through my PS4 back in the gap.
Okay. Well, let's add the big asterisk at the end of this, which is that even in their premiere trailer for the Switch 2 and this new product that they're launching, the screen share and the video were beyond laggy. They couldn't even get it to run smoothly in their own frickin' trailer. So
Nintendo still does not know how to internet. And I don't think they ever will at this point.
So, exciting features, but I mean, maybe if it's like, say, me and you playing our Switches at the same time and we're sharing screens with each other, maybe that won't be a big deal. But it looked like with 4 people all sharing their screens at the same time while all also playing their own game, it looked a bit much for the Switch to handle.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, they claim it's as powerful as a PS4, so I guess we'll see.
I think this is a lot to ask of the Switch too.
True,
but we'll see.
Other things of note. For one, your Joy-Cons can now be used as a mouse for different features in games. I know first-person shooter fans are going to be eating this up. That's good for them. I'm happy for you fans. I hope you get everything.
I can't think of a situation where I will use this feature.
I'm sure they'll find a way to make you use it. Like designing an Animal Crossing with a mouse versus with a controller might be significantly easier.
Maybe. I would also like to add real quick before we continue on to the big things that happened in the Direct today and Nintendo's lagginess. I don't know if this affected you, Blake, because you started a little late.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I already know what you're talking about because it did affect me.
Dude, they couldn't even get their Direct right.
Yeah, there was a whole portion.
Lagged the video the entire time.
And
it froze.
There was one specific portion that was frozen there for like 30 seconds to a minute. It was there for a long time. It was a bridge.
It was like through a couple trailers.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. It was real bad.
It was pretty bad, especially considering my audio at least was lagged the entire
time. My audio was lagged by like 10 seconds. It was pretty bad.
You prepare 8 years for something and then just, oh man,
Botch it.
you have to you have to feel bad for the person who didn't figure that one out.
Nintendo, and yet we're still gonna buy it. Uh,
Yeah.
Other notable things, probably the last big notable thing, we're going from 32 gigs of storage to 256, which is a massive jump. So good on you, Nintendo.
Um, I also think there's another big thing to add here. And the negative, if I can go negative for a minute.
Sure.
I think it's wild that the Switch 2 does not inherently just have an OLED screen.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. They're sticking with LCD. Nope, I don't get it. I was about to say burn in, but no, LCD burns in easier than OLED does. So
I don't understand, if not just to save money or something, but it's crazy that they came out with a Switch 1 that is going to have a better screen than
also,
this one.
yeah, the Switch One, yeah, the original Switch One was LCD, but they created an OLED version. So yeah, why not just move it over? Why not just?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially when you're upping your base price by $150.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is
Put in the better
insane.
screen, my guys.
Now, granted, I will say this about the price hike, and we won't get into the nitty gritty of it because that's not what we're here. The price hike is most likely due to tariffs. But
Yeah.
not necessarily Nintendo's fault. We can't be mad at them for that one, because it is significantly cheaper to buy in Japan. So
Life is awesome. I love living in a
everything,
country.
everything.
That's why.
Let's not get into the disappointing nitty gritty of it.
Let's talk about the games.
Yeah.
The first big one.
The first big one. Oh yeah, a new Pro controller, blah blah blah, camera. Okay, moving on. The first big one, Mario Kart World. This I was expecting like the bare minimum, to be honest, and they blew me away.
I was expecting the bare minimum, mostly because I like Mario Kart, but I'm not that into Mario Kart, and like how much, especially after Mario Kart 8, which lasted
12
over
years.
a decade, quite frankly.
Yeah, 2013 to now.
Yeah, what could you even do? They had like, I don't even know, like 70 courses. They had almost every main Mario or Nintendo character that you could think of in the franchise. I wasn't really sure how they could add to this one, but there's some really cool features in here. The biggest one that stands out to me, or the one I was most excited about, is the ability when you're doing the Grand Circuit or the Grand Prix, you can drive from course to course. So instead of doing the 3 laps and being done, you'll continue between courses, and because it's world and you're going from city to city, it's basically like you're taking a nice little tour of different areas, and that's really neat. That's really cool.
On top of that too, if you don't want to race, there is free roam where you can go anywhere. You go up a mountain, you can go in the water, you can get on a muddy path, you can stay in the grass, you can stay on the road. Like, it is just open roam.
It's, for what I mean, I guess if there's a really cool area you could, but I wonder, will there be things to find?
I'm assuming there will be collectibles. We do get more information on the 17th of April with a Nintendo, with a Mario Kart World Direct. So God, we're getting 3 directs in this short period of time. Like, jeez.
Easy.
So yeah, get prepped. I think this is going to be insane. I liked a lot of the mechanics they had. They added rail grinding, wall driving. They added
Food.
Yeah, there was food. There's different costumes. You can change costumes in. Like,
There's a cow.
that. Yeah, the Moo Moo Meadows cow you can drive as now.
You can play as the Moo Moo Meadows cow.
20,
That's crazy.
24 players at once. It's insane. It's gonna be packed. Like, this is gonna make Mario Kart 8 look like the worst Mario Kart of all time. I have a good feeling Nintendo kind of pulled out all the stops here. So
We'll see.
We'll see
There
in
looked like some
June.
really cool new courses. There was one where it looked like you were in the ocean and there were waves coming at you, and Mario was driving over the waves, and that looked really cool.
Yeah, they added jet skis. They added snowmobiles. You have plane wings for gliding now.
They did a lot. They did a lot more than I thought they would have done for Mario, honestly. And I mean, they kind of had to, right? Because this is their only really big launch title.
And it will be just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was. This will be the best-selling game on Nintendo Switch 2. We already know.
Yeah, so they're putting a lot of eggs in this one basket. So,
As they should.
Because the last Mario Kart lasted for so long and had so much content, they really had to knock it out of the park in order for the Switch. I mean, because the Switch 2 didn't have a lot going for it to start with, right? I mean, like you and I, pretty big Nintendo fans, weren't even sure we were going to buy it, at least not right away, because it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And it already has most of the big things, so they had to kill this one.
Which I'll say I will probably get the bundle just because of this. The only downside, this is where they announced the game will cost $80 if you don't buy the bundle.
Oh man, $80. It's to be clear, if you buy the bundle, it's $50. The bundle costs $500 with the base Switch 2 costing $450. So you save $30 if you get the bundle. But yeah, $80.
It's a
But
lot.
it also noted later that another game was not $80, so it could be just a Mario thing. I'm not really
I don't know
sure.
why it would be this one specifically, but maybe there's some licensed stuff in there we just don't know about. But I don't know.
Could
I don't
be.
know. That's the final announcement. But sure, that's another huge one. Donkey Kong is getting a 3D game for the first time since the N64.
I like the way he looks. I just want to get that out of the gate. I know you told me this is a reference to another look he has in another game. I don't like it.
Okay, this is... Oh, maybe Donkey Kong SNES? That's not right. What was the look? Donkey Kong... Big eyes. There was... I don't know where it was. It is a reference to an older...
Prove his existence.
Images. Let's go to images. I mean, yeah, it's based off this. They just made him slightly different.
Based off that?
That's based off of. Oh, someone even put the reference right here when they... Wait, what? What is this? That's weird. I don't like it.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, my dude.
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty sure he's based off this Donkey Kong. With the big eyes. But regardless.
I don't see it. That does not look like the same character to me.
It could also be based off the Donkey Kong from Mario movie.
Because wasn't that Donkey Kong Jr.?
Yeah, that was Donkey Kong Jr. So it could be based off this Donkey Kong from the Mario movie, but even this looks more like Donkey Kong than Donkey Kong does in the other one. So
yeah, I don't know. There's something with his face that's just off. Yeah, he does look more like the movie version, I think.
Either way, I think it's exciting because we haven't had a 3D Donkey Kong game since the N64. Like,
oh man, I love that game too.
That's the only one that's Donkey Kong 64. And now we're getting a fully fledged... It looks like you can wreck everything. Everything can be destroyed. And everything can be used as a weapon. And that looks awesome. That looks sick. So...
I'm ready to see how it goes.
I'm excited. I have a lot of friends.
Actually, no, it was $70, right?
Yeah, that one's 70. Which,
maybe we won't see how it goes, because I don't know if I want to pay $70 right out of the gate for DK.
It going to 70. I mean, that's just the way of the gaming industry now. We're going to $70. The problem, you have to remember, is that unlike PlayStation games, Nintendo games do not go down in price.
Well, that's my point. We'll see. This is definitely not going to be like I'm going to go out and buy it right away. I'm not going to be waiting around for it. I'll wait and then see how it fares, and then maybe I'll get some people in my family group to loan it to me.
Oh my god! Nope, we're not doing this.
I don't have to pay any money for the game, and I can try it out and see if it's for me without paying any money.
Just like the Tamagotchi Life fans, this is another one that has a massive cult following. Was Kirby Air Ride for the GameCube, and they announced the first game in 22 years for Kirby Air Ride.
I played the crap out of this.
I
played the crap. I played this so much. Me and my friend Emily, her name was also Emily. We played this all the time.
It's hard.
I'm a Kirby fan. But I was psyched for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. I am stoked because I tried playing Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. I wasn't good at it, but I'm willing to give it another shot. And it is... They made it a point to say it's being directed by Sakurai, the creator of Kirby. So, like...
We'll see. I have hope for that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, whenever they showed his name, I'm like, are we going to get a Smash Bros. Game? but no, that's probably not gonna be for a minute.
No, they didn't. They didn't. There was nothing
Nope.
Smash Bros. At all. I think that's another game maybe they need to figure out how to follow up and make it better than the previous one.
Well,
Quick
Sakurai's also
notes, quick
done.
into chat. Mick After Hours. I like digital. I'm not against digital games. I think people choose what people choose. I think there are pros for digital games for people who maybe
I will
don't
fight you.
have the ability to go out and buy physical games.
No one
But
likes
you should
you.
go back. If you listen, you should go back to the beginning of podcast because Blake and I had a big debate on the new Nintendo update on digital game cartridges that you can loan out, and I'm pro.
Moving right along, we got Nintendo Switch 2 versions of Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. I'm not buying them. I have them already.
So when they first did the Mario, so something for viewers who didn't watch the direct, something they announced was that essentially like PlayStation did with PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, there's going to be updated versions of games to be more what's the word I want?
Optimized, pretty.
I think that was exactly the word I wanted. Optimized for the Switch 2. And so the first one they came out with was Mario Party, which is going to have additional games, additional gameplay features.
Let's see if it's on here.
They look really crazy, and I don't really want them. But there's some like you can stand up and do like a Connect kind of like physical gameplay with the camera. You can put your face in the game so your friends can see your reactions to things. There's mini games that revolve around it. There's this roller coaster. So they added all that new content, and then they came up next with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. For a moment, I got really excited because I thought, oh, what new content's going to come with this? And it's just a freaking app that, like, you can turn on a GPS. You can be like, hey, GPS, how do I get to Hyrule Castle? And it'll be like, proceed north.
Yeah, I hate it. I already have a copy of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I will play them on my Switch 1 because they run just fine there. I'm not worried about it. Like, cool.
It's money to upgrade. So, actually, I don't want to derail us completely, but I want to jump back to something that was announced at the beginning of the Direct, which I think there's a lot of things that Nintendo did that were big here. I mean, upping the price from $300 to $450. Sometimes it's like...
We called that, though.
The audacity, Nintendo. But they can get away with it because they're Nintendo, right? They announced a game at the very beginning of the Direct. It was the first new game announcement, because we've seen Mario Kart before. That is essentially, you are a tiny little person on a Switch 2 and exploring what the Switch 2 can offer. It's like a tech demo.
Yeah, I'm mad about the same thing.
Demo. It felt like a thing to read and to Nintendo 2 Switch 2 Welcome to It. It felt like a way to read and learn about the Switch. Basically an informational guide with maybe some mini games in it. Not anywhere compared to like an Astro's Playroom, for example, which was a real full game with trophies and actually very fun. This thing costs money.
Yeah, it is not free. And that pisses me off. I got mad. I got physically angry.
Watch this. I mean, like we were talking about how the upgrade from Switch 1 to Switch 2 costs money, and I think that's a little crazy, but fine. This coming out with this very generic, bland-ass looking information guide that basically looks like an instruction guide to use the Switch 2 and charging money for it.
Bet you it's gonna cost insane. It's gonna cost $50. I'm calling it now.
If it costs more than $5 is too much for this thing. But if it costs more than that, outrageous. Yep. Outrageous. Nintendo, somebody needs to go to Nintendo and remind them who they are.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you could make it free. Chill.
It's literally digital. I can't with that one. Sorry, but we were just talking about Nintendo making people pay for things that probably shouldn't have to be paid for, and that one was outrageous.
That was the big one. We already heard about Metroid Prime 4. This is one of those things that's a launch. It's not a launch title, but it's going to be cross-release with the Switch and the Switch 2. At this point, just buy it for the Switch 2 and move on. Get those extra features. It can go up to 120 frames per second, which actually is impressive. That's insane. The Switch 1 can barely give above 30, so good for them for getting that up to 120 FPS. So, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands got extra content. Sure, I'll play the extra content. I'll pay the $10 for the upgrade for extra content. You didn't play Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
We talk about how I got such a freaking jump scare because one of the game reveals starts out with Tears of the Kingdom. It starts
Oh,
off with like Zelda giving the backstory for the imprisoning war, and me being like, "Oh my
I'm
gosh,
trying to go in
are we?"
order here, and she's making me jump.
This thing isn't even in order. It's not doing it in the order they announced
Oh, I'm
them.
going in order of what's in here. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. We can go in order of this article.
Okay, well, no, we'll do this last jump, and then we'll go in order. Yes, they announced Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, which is another Age of Calamity type game slash.
What a freaking bummer!
I
I
am
was so
happy.
pumped.
There's no link. I don't think. I don't think there's gonna be a link in it.
I was so excited for like a prequel to play as Zelda or play as the Zonai and learn more about it. But the Hyrule Warriors type games are just
They're a
not my.
slog. Yeah,
They're nothing fun to me about wading through a sea of like 500 enemies repeatedly.
very negative.
Oh, we feel how we feel.
True. True.
There's a lot of, we haven't gotten to the big things yet. We haven't gotten to the heart of my, and we were very positive for Mario Kart.
Pokemon Legends ZA, it's getting its own version. Same thing. Just get the Switch 2 version. Don't buy the Switch 1 version. There's no point.
Unless you can't get the Switch 2 and you can't afford the Switch 2.
Correct. Obviously, if you want to play it on the Switch and you can't get a Switch 2, like, do that. Drag and Drive, I did not care. It's whatever. It's fine.
Actually, we should note this was intentionally made to use the Joy-Cons as the mouses, to use it for that express purpose. So essentially, you'll have the two Joy-Cons and you'll use them as a way to wheel the chair forward.
Yeah. So it's
fine. This feels like a tech demo game-ish.
Probably costs money. Okay.
Oh, it absolutely costs money. There's no way they're gonna put like the informational guide for money and not this thing for money.
The biggest announcement, I think, of the show, with Nintendo GameCube. Emily, is your this is your, well, it's both of our excitements, but I know you want to talk about it.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I've waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and you have seen me on this podcast for 2 years now, sending out the signals, telling Nintendo I would pay so much money to have Wind Waker on the Switch. And today, that dream came true. And I'm just, I think I have to, eat my words a little bit, eat some crow. Because when Blake and I talked about the Switch 2 a couple months, I was very adamant that there was no way I was going to be tempted to go out and buy this on day one because this wasn't going to have anything for me. And then I add the caveat, unless Wind Waker comes.
Nintendo listened to us specifically.
Not fully.
Not
because
completely.
I should add, it is a game, as you can see on the screen here, it is not just they're bringing Wind Waker, it's a GameCube emulator. They have a handful of games. What were the other games? I don't even know. There's the
biggest ones, and the reason I care about these two big ones is because these two games cost like $300 to $500 a piece. They added Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and now people who haven't been able to play them have access to them on the Switch too. If they,
I saw F-Zero.
Yep, there's F-Zero's coming. Let's see if I can. Oh, here we go. Let's see if this shows them.
Oh, it's on the screen. F-Zero and Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2, which I did play. Soul Calibur 2 is a lot of fun. I'm not even a fighting game person. So can you show me the games listed?
It's up there. Stop. Go back up. Okay, stop.
Okay, Wind Waker, F-Zero, Soul Calibur 2. And then, yeah, okay, Mario Sunshine, the best 3D Mario, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Strikers, which I loved. The re-release did so terrible, so I'm glad that's coming. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Coliseum was also listed. So that's
excited for Luigi's Mansion as well. So I should add. So
Wait.
we're not getting a little bit of a disappointment. I'm very excited, obviously, still for Wind Waker, but a little bit of disappointment that they're not porting the HD version.
Yeah.
It's such an oddball choice when you already have it made and it could be ported to the consoles. I would have paid real money for it. They are giving us the emulation for the original game, which I'm not going to turn up my nose at. I'll be very excited for it still. And yeah, sadly, no Twilight Princess for those fans. But that might end the GameCube emulator down the road.
Isn't the original Luigi's Mansion on Switch 1, though? Like, didn't they port that? Because I knew there was Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, but didn't they port the first game to Switch 1?
I don't believe so. Maybe they did. I don't claim to be an expert,
Luigi's
as I said on this video game
Mansion
podcast.
1 Switch.
The wireless controller does seem like a very cool thing to do. I'm not sure if you know, but there was an N64 one as well when they came out with the N64 emulator, and that's been really cool. I got that one. It took me a long time to get it because, of course, scalpers do what scalpers do, and they get these things and they sell them out. And
Scalpers be
them
scalping. Scalpers be scalping. But yeah, the controller looks sick as hell. And they had to make it a point to. We added the C button to the top. Thanks, Nintendo. Real cool, Nintendo. Great.
I don't know if I'll buy the controller. I think I might.
You can buy third-party wireless GameCube controllers that are compatible already. So like, that look just like this. There's almost no point. I mean, I would love one. Don't get me wrong. But nothing is as good as feeling as an original OG GameCube controller from Nintendo. Every time they've tried to recreate it for every single system for Smash Bros., it has not felt as good.
I think this one's going to be the same thing. So we'll see. It's more of a question, can I get it? I think that's the question for all of this. Will I buy a Switch 2? I don't know. Can I get one? Will I buy the game controller? I don't know. Can I get one?
Yeah, is it possible?
Will I have access to it?
Other than this, PlayStation Bloodborne fans ate when Sony did nothing, and Nintendo said, all right, I'll do it then. And they released something that's Bloodborne 2 without calling it Bloodborne 2. We got...
And it's Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive.
It is. It's called Duskbloods, and you're essentially a vampire, and it's more Bloodborne. Let's be real. It's what it is. And it's not for me, but I'm so happy for all of you. I'm so happy for you being so patient.
A well-deserved win. I can't believe she did it. I can't believe Nintendo got this in their repertoire. I can't believe they got it to be an exclusive. And now I'm like a little stunned by this one.
I think they're gonna pull a Sony though, and they're gonna release this and then never have a sequel for it and let it sit on the Switch 2 forever and never move it.
Probably, but like, just the fact that they managed to pull this off is so funny to me.
We already know what's gonna win Game of the Year 2026. By the way, like, FromSoft usually wins, so good on you.
Elden Ring didn't win. Did Elden Ring win?
Elden Ring won in 2022.
Oh, you're right. It was the DLC that didn't win.
Correct, as it should not have.
Agreed. On the same page for that one.
Speaking of Elden Ring is going to Switch 2. So, good. All right, there you go. There you go, FromSoft fans. You ate.
As someone who doesn't play Elden Ring and or FromSoft games and has no experience playing them, it seems incredibly difficult to try to play a game like Elden Ring on a Switch.
Hey, if this one's more powerful and it runs fine, that's all that matters.
I'm more so thinking of like the controller aspect to it, because your moves have to be so precise because you're doing these really intense boss fights where you have to like remember like patterns and things like that the bosses do. The Switch does not seem like the most optimized system to try to be doing that on.
Yeah, I will not be playing these games. So sorry. That's it.
But very exciting for the people who haven't had access to them thus far.
We already talked about this. Two bits of exciting news. Deltarune fans rejoice. We are finally getting chapters 3 and 4. I have not played chapters 0 through 2. But Deltarune, for all you Undertale people, I've heard Deltarune is a wonderful, wonderful game. I plan on playing it at some point because I did love Undertale. And we are getting chapters 3 and 4. Poots, thank you for the lurk. Hello, Trish. Hello, G.
Hey friends, go watch the direct and then come chat about it.
Hades 2 will be released on... Yeah, I mean, we called this. Hades was a huge success on the original Switch. Hades 2 is going to blow up. Hades...
And it's going to be exclusive for a bit.
Is it? I didn't even see that.
Switch 2 before other consoles. It's going to come on the Switch 2 before it comes to other consoles.
It will actually be on both Nintendo Switch consoles.
They got some big wins in this one.
Good for... God. Hades
is a fun
game.
You scroll down the screen and I saw the next announcement. This was such a big one for me personally. I played 2 of these games on the N64 all the time. Me and my siblings were obsessed with them. There's a new 007 game coming.
Hold on, I have to get to it.
It's literally right beneath Hades.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things. They actually didn't even show the thing for it, which is annoying.
It's right there. Cyberpunk 2077.
That is not it.
No, I'm in the title for like this section.
Oh, I know. I knew it was in the title,
007.
but I wanted to.
Oh.
What? Why are you
Oh,
showing
Star Wars
this?
Pulse is coming to Switch. Neat. Yeah, there's a new 007 game coming. They didn't give any information about it other than it's called Project 007. And it's made by the same developers of Hitman.
Yep.
I'm very excited. I loved those games on the N64. I had so much fun playing them, so I'm excited for this one. This was an out of left field thing that I didn't know I wanted until it came on screen.
So let's go through, other than that, let's go through all the other things that were announced that were not important for us, and then the bigger ones on this list. Madden, don't care. Sports FC, which is FIFA, don't care. NBA 2K, don't care. Emily loves WWE, I've heard.
Yeah,
Big
fan.
That was a lie. We don't care. Split Fiction is coming. I don't know if you have you heard of Split Fiction? I think we should play it.
Recently heard of Split Fiction. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty decent. Yeah, side note, videos of that will be edited and going live on the YouTube channel once I actually have time in my schedule, but I will do it, I promise.
For context, if you guys didn't see it, Blake and I have been playing Split Fiction for the last 2 weeks, and we beat it as of last night.
And it was such a cool ending.
If you want to see us play it and hear our thoughts on the game, that will be coming soon.
Cyberpunk 2077 is coming. I don't trust it on the Switch. It didn't work on the PS4, so why would I trust it on the Switch? So
anything. Hogwarts Legacy is coming. I know Blake's excited for Bravely Default.
Oh my god. Let me tell you about Bravely Default. It is probably my favorite. No, it's not my favorite Square Enix games. That's always going to go to Kingdom Hearts. But if I had to pick Bravely Default 1 over any Final Fantasy, it is always Bravely Default 1. It is incredible, and it did not get the love it deserved. I didn't play Bravely Second, and I did not play Bravely Default 2, which I don't know why I haven't. I own them both, and I loved Bravely Default so much. Slight spoiler, but it has been over a decade, so I do not care. People were going off about Donald being able to use Zeta Flare. The first use of Zeta Flare was in this game by a certain character who I will not spoil. So.
Good to know. I may be picking it up. We'll see.
I adore this. It is one of the best turn-based JRPGs I've ever played.
You know, if you buy the game and you want to loan it to me via your digital library, I'll play it.
That's a good one. M thinks I'm buying digital.
Star Wars Outlaws, My Heart of Hearts is apparently coming.
Yep.
And I think a huge announcement that was kind of hidden in this rapid fire announcement of games was Silk Song coming this year. People have been waiting a long time for that, and they didn't even give it like its own trailer or announcement or anything. They just slid it in there.
Yeah, and I saw the chat, and chat's like, Silk Song, there it is, and we're like, that's all you get. You guys have been begging.
I saw a lot of people who got to the end and were like, wait, what do you mean they announced Silk Song, and had to go back to like see it?
Oh, Silk Song has been asked for a Nintendo Direct for years. And it finally happened. It finally happened.
It's like a Mike Wazowski level of acknowledgement where it's like, I made it on TV, but his like face is like covered with the logo and you can't even really see him, but he made it.
Yeah, that's it for that.
There was a lot. I'll also say they had a lot of developers on the Nintendo Direct to announce their games coming to the Switch. It was a pretty star-studded cast.
I don't know how Borderlands 4 is going to run. I don't know how they're going to get that to work. I really don't.
About a lot of games. I feel that about
Final Fantasy VII
the
remake.
Bloodborne sequel, which like congratulations on Nintendo for getting that exclusive. I hope it runs well.
I hope Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade actually runs well, because remember, Intergrade specifically, they're like, you have to have a PS5 to play it because the graphics need to be that good. And now they're releasing that version on the Switch too.
I don't think you said remember, like it was something I knew and might have forgotten, when in fact I don't know. You should never assume that any Final Fantasy VII like remake knowledge stays up here.
I will eventually get Emily to play Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16. She says one day. She won't do it. Oh,
Just
don't
one day
voyerize
he
that
won't
me.
do it. He still hasn't played Mass Effect.
It's back there. It's back there. It's ready.
And yet, where is it?
Ah.
They did announce the chip. Or wait, no, I don't know.
And that's what?
The chipset.
I don't switch to chipset. Okay, so NVIDIA's making the Nintendo Switch 2 processor. Okay. 4K at 60 FPS. They're claiming it's going to be 4K 60, 1080p 120. I don't buy that for a
I saw their online chatting system. I saw the way it lagged.
Now internet I will say is different. That's because they don't know how to do internet. This have you ever played a game? You know how choppy games can be annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of the Switch 2 was a bunch of chop. And I'm sorry, the end of the Switch 1 has been a bunch of choppiness, and I expect we're still going to get some choppiness, but I guess
I wouldn't even say the end of the Switch 1. I played Animal Crossing on release, and when I put too much furniture in one area, the Switch went. I should try to decorate in the decorating game. That hurt us. And then it lagged, and then I couldn't do what I wanted to do, so I had to remove furniture.
All right, let's see. Let's see if we get more here. Okay, LCD panel, new dock, has 4K output and cooling fan. Chassis is larger but not thicker. 256 gigs, micro SD card, we knew. Detachable controllers, USB-C port, blah, blah, blah. No official details. Oh, yeah, that's... I forgot. I didn't put two and two together. That top USB port is for charging and for the specifically for that camera.
Camera's so funny to me. Yeah, no, McGaffrey hours. I love that they just unashamed put the video with the lag on the trailer.
Yeah.
Their launch trailer. So funny.
AI upscaling is going to be a crutch. Upscaler built into dock. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the current Switch has an AI upscaler. I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? Like to go from 720 to 1080. Isn't that how that's working? I don't know.
I should note that a lot of your Nintendo One accessories will also not Nintendo One, Switch One accessories will work for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
But they won't always work plugged in. So, for example, you can use your Switch 1 Joy-Cons on the Switch 2, but you can't charge your Switch 1 Joy-Cons on the Switch 2. But a lot of your accessories will still be compatible.
We got through the list.
We talked about DK, I guess. That was the last big announcement was the new.
And it probably, other than Mario Kart, for a lot of people, that was probably the biggest announcement. Because, I mean, it's a new 3D. And it looks like, if I have to be honest, it looks like the people who made Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. We did not... Is there
anything... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we did not get a new 3D Mario game announced. Or
that was going to be my question. Was there anything you really wanted that they didn't announce?
Yeah, I wanted a new a sequel to Mario Odyssey or like another 3D Mario game. That will probably be later on. I know I'm gonna have to wait for it. But Super Mario Maker 3, baby. Oh, I will be Balatro who? Nah, it's Mario Maker time, baby. So.
Oh man, I will be so happy for you when that comes one day.
Professor Layton isn't enough for me to spend 395 euros on a base console. 395. We had to pay 450. Actually, what is 395 euros?
400. Oh yeah, it is 450. But that's
oh, that's pounds.
Euros.
Is that pounds or euros?
I don't know.
Pounds. Oh. Pounds.
I'm going with pounds.
I went with pounds. Yeah. Oh, so we're saying euros?
No, I think it's pounds.
Yeah, and I said pounds.
Yeah. Is it pounds?
It is. I'm assuming.
I feel like such a stupid American right now.
It's pounds. Yeah. Okay. Great. How many ounces are in a Scottish pound? Sorry, I'm done.
We should have known. $550 for the base console. That is insane.
Oh, yeah,
that is a lot of money. That is more than the Switch, or not. That is more than the PS5 was for us on release.
Okay, how much? What was the price in Japan?
I don't know. I don't know the Japanese price off the top of my head.
You
might see me wait till I go to Japan again and then pick up a Switch 2 and a bunch of games and accessories in Japan because it'll be so much cheaper.
So, congratulations, everybody! The Switch 2 is coming. Huh?
How much was it?
Oh, I didn't look.
Oh,
I went switch
tariffs and
to
inflation.
price
We
in.
love to see it.
Okay, $340 US or 49,980 yen.
So you're telling me I could save over $100 by buying this in Japan?
Correct. It is tariffs and inflation. That is, well, I don't even know if it's the inflation. I think it's the tariffs in this case, because the inflation, wouldn't that be caused by material good hikes? Wouldn't it be more expensive everywhere else too?
Combination thereof. I mean, I think it's both, but yeah, the tariffs are really putting the kibosh on my happiness.
Yep. I will fight it, but
Oh,
we're not getting into it. We said we don't get into that here. You can get into it.
don't say no. I'm looking at the claim that it's going to be super region locked to prevent people from scalping.
Wait, is it
That
going to be
is
region locked?
devastating news. I bought, when I was in Japan last year, I bought some games for super
Wait.
cheap that I was able to play on my Switch.
Switch to. Don't tell me it's region locked.
It's such a freaking bummer if that's true. Nintendo,
It's kind
curse
of.
you.
Yeah, hold on. I've got the article pulled up here. Nintendo is kind of returning to region locking with a cheaper Japanese Switch too. Okay.
No, you don't need to put your political economists away. We're all mad about it.
Oh no.
We're all mad.
We're all mad about it. We're trying not to be, but we're mad. So yeah, it's all about tariffs and all that.
Only Japanese is available as a system language, and only Nintendo accounts with the country region, such as Japan, will be linked to the system.
Oh, Nintendo, that is so anti-consumer. That is incredibly anti-consumer.
But I could say, are games region locked? Like, when I go to Japan next year, can I buy games for cheaper? Devastating blow. Devastating blow.
They said kind of. So what I'm assuming is you can't buy a Japanese Switch 2, but you can buy a US Switch 2 and play Japanese games. Nintendo is always anti-consumer. That is true. That is true. They are the only company that is that charges for consoles for profit. Sony and Xbox lose money on every console sale.
So confused where you're going there for a second. Okay, that's okay if it's just the games, then I can still buy.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a bummer, though.
Yeah, the way I read it is, yeah, you just cannot buy the Japanese version of the console. Which yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish.
Which they probably, to be fair, it is anti-consumer, but I think they're doing it because they want to avoid scrutiny from U.S. government for people just buying it in Japan. Because technically, you're supposed to pay taxes on things you purchase outside of your state or country, but nobody does because that's dumb and don't do that. That's stupid.
I don't recommend saying that live on the internet. I don't recommend telling people not to pay taxes live on the internet.
Oh, no. Pay your taxes. I'm just saying, if you buy something out of state and they say, did you buy anything out of state on your tax forms? I don't remember. Maybe a burger.
I wouldn't recommend telling people to lie on their tax forms live on the internet.
Burn down the government. I'm sorry.
So I guess the last question we should end the podcast with tonight is this a day one purchase? For you, for me, in general.
Okay.
Did Nintendo bring enough to the table here to make it worth going out and getting day one?
I think there's a two-part answer to this question, because this is not as simple as is it a day one or not. I think if money was not a factor at all.
But it is. So you have to consider that when you're considering, did they bring enough to the table to make it a day one purchase? Because people are going to be shelling out $400 to $500.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about for me specifically. If I had enough money, like if I could just drop $500 all willy-nilly, absolutely. I think there was enough there. But because to me it is, but will I personally do it? Probably not, is what I'm saying.
It's not a day one purchase though.
What?
Because a huge component of like, will I buy this or not, is considering the money aspect. I mean, if money wasn't consideration, I'd buy a lot of things that I don't need and are probably not worth the price.
Per what Doc said, yes. My name is Blake, and this is not legal advice. And for legal purposes, that was a joke earlier. Sorry, I gotta specify that. Also, in Minecraft, continue.
So, considering the price, you're saying you're not going to get a day one because you do not think it's worth the price point with what they're bringing to
it's. I mean, there's other factors involved, but I want it day one, but I probably won't get it day one. I'll say that. Like it's close. I think it's very close. The value proposition is it's very close, but it doesn't.
If they had added a 3D Mario to this, would it be a day one?
Oh, absolutely. Probably, yeah. I can't deny.
This is. I'm unsure if this is a day one for me. I really want Wind Waker. I really want Mario Kart. But I'm also very, very aware of the fact that a year or two from now, they could announce Animal Crossing and come with a brand new Animal Crossing Switch 2. I'm also very cognizant of the fact that there's going to be a lot of scalpers, and even without scalpers, there's just going to be a lot of people buying these Switches up left and right. Will I be able to even get one? I don't really care for the all-black aesthetic. So I'm not sure it's a day one purchase. And I think Nintendo might find that with a lot of people, though.
I have a gut feeling, and I don't know if you ever you witnessed this when this happened back in the day. When the 3DS first launched, it had very, very low sales. Like it was incredibly low. People thought the price point, I think it was $250 at launch, was too high. There was not enough that came with it. What they did like 6 months later was they lowered the price to $200. It may have been $200 or $150. I can't remember. And anyone who purchased it beforehand got the Ambassador Pass, and they got a bunch of Game Boy Advance games to play on your 3DS that you couldn't play anywhere. I think we might run into a similar situation here where they realize it's overpriced and they're going to lower it.
I think Nintendo will back down. Personally, I think they'll stick with their price. I think what they're going to do is add more content. I think they'll come out with Animal Crossing. I think they know Pokemon's going to come out later this year. I think they know Silk Song's going to come out later this year. I think they know a lot of things are going to be coming down the pipeline, and I think they'll hold on. I think they'll hold on and just wait for people to finally have a game that makes it worth going out and investing in the Switch 2.
I guess we'll find out. And remember, kids, please don't buy from the scalpers if you can't get your hands on it. Just wait. Be patient.
Just wait, man. They'll only get worse if we keep buying from them. If you weren't here at the beginning, though, there is a new tool to prevent scalping. If you buy directly from Nintendo's website, you have to prove that you have over 50 hours of gameplay on the original Switch in order to be able to buy the Switch 2 through Nintendo. So if you're going to buy it, try to buy it through Nintendo because they're going to try to be locking scalpers out. Or if you can find it in person, if there's going to be an in-person sale you can wait at. That's how I got my PS5, was waiting in line at Best Buy when they got some in person. So no scalpers there.
Yeah.
Or maybe one. You can only take one with them. So
yeah, so it is what it is. We'll figure out what happens in June. Remember, folks, if you want to catch me, you can catch me at twitch.tv/thebeardedblake show. I've been doing a lot on this channel because we finally hit affiliate and I need to get that all set up as well. But I'll be back full swing on my channel starting probably tomorrow. And you can sometimes catch her on twitch.tv/EmilyJean33 when she feels like it.
Streaming more. I think is if I do get the Switch, if I get the bundle, or whenever I get the Switch, I've already decided we're going to play through Wind Waker on stream all together because, guys, you came on this journey with me. You watched me beg for Wind Waker to have him brought home. And he's finally coming home, guys, so we'll play him together. I got some Dreamlight Valley stuff I want to do on stream. So we'll see. Hopefully more stream content. I do have some Dreamlight Valley stuff. We just have been very busy streaming Split Fiction, and also there's this little game called Assassin's Creed Shadows that I've been playing a lot of, but I have not actually played Dreamlight Valley in a very long time. So we have stuff coming up. Also, don't forget, if you're still interested in learning more about Switch 2 stuff, after hearing us talk for a long time, there will be a Nintendo Treehouse where they're going to showcase some of the new games and some of the new Switch 2 mechanics. I believe that Treehouse is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
I believe. And there will be a Mario Kart exclusive direct coming, I believe, the 17th.
Correct. It is April 17th.
Pre-orders for the Switch 2 start a week from today. We probably won't be podcasting again before then. So this is our one chance to let you know, if you hadn't heard, a week from today, if you're going to buy it day one, be ready and try to do it through Nintendo.
Yeah, do it through Nintendo. Don't go to GameStop. Don't do that to yourself, please. It's probably not going to work well for you. So
I mean, yeah, if you're going to buy it online, try to get it through Nintendo because they'll be trying to stop the scalpers. But good luck to all of you. Yeah. Godspeed. May you be blessed on your journey to getting Switch 2s and or GameCube wireless GameCube controllers, because holy shit, that's gonna suck.
If you happen to have a Switch, if you happen to have multiple Switch accounts and can order multiple and just want to pay for one for me and Emily, so buy 3, one for yourself and then one for each of us, we won't say no. I need to make that abundantly clear. We will not say no. So
I won't say no to a Switch, but also don't buy me a Switch.
Buy us both a Switch.
All right, guys, I think that's it from us tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking Switch 2 with us. If you guys have any more thoughts on the Switch 2, keep sharing them with us because I want to hear what you think. Are you buying it day one? I still don't know if I am.
I think we're going to be a ton. We're going to see a ton of announcements over the next few months before it's released. So get ready for more directs. I'm calling it now. And get ready for Sony's rebuttal because every time they see Nintendo do something big, they're like, oh, it's state of play time. So we'll see probably soon.
What do they even have at this point? I don't know.
All right. Well, that's it for us, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm going to dinner with my wife. Bye, everybody.